Hi everyone, and welcome to our series Talk the Walk with Bharat Vaani. I'm your host Erica Fernandez, and our guest for today is Deepak Rajmohan. He is the founder of Green Pod Labs. They have found a way to extend the shelf life of fruits and vegetables. Can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Hey, Erika, thanks for the opportunity. Really appreciate that. Deepak, founder CEO of Green Pod Lab. I'm a food scientist by training, and I was working in US, and then moved back to India about 2 years ago. So since then, we've been building this company. Green Pod Labs, primarily we are a agri-tech startup developing solutions to extend the shelf life of fruits and vegetables. So that's my background and the company background.
Okay. Can you tell us what is your vision for this company?
Yeah, so if you look at overall, India is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables, but still we lose about 40% of the fresh produce before it reaches the consumer.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the overall contribution of India to international market for exports is less than 2%. So there's a lot of challenge here, and India is not able to develop the right infrastructure to minimize it. The vision is to develop solutions, a cost-effective solution, which is all sustainable, to minimize this food wastage and food losses. We're starting with fruits and vegetables, but our plan is to look at other commodity and other food waste as well. And then apart from India, we want to expand to other developing countries like Africa countries and other Asian countries. So that's the bigger vision and where we are heading towards.
Oh, so how did you come up with this idea? How did you think that you wanted to start this Green Pod Labs?
Sure. So before, while I was doing my masters, so I did do a couple of projects in food waste and food losses. So I was working on developing solutions to reuse food waste from a winery or beer spent grain and stuff. So I've always been interested in food waste in one form or the other. And then I was looking for opportunities to move back to India and find some like potential areas to work on. So when I got deeper into food waste, that's when I understood about 40% of the food waste gets wasted in India before it reaches the consumer, whereas in US about 50% wastage happens after it reaches the consumer. That was a pivotal statistics which really thought I need to do something. So came back here, spent a couple of months traveling to different villages, talking with farmers, talking with distributors, and that's when I formulated the idea towards like active packaging and biotechnology. So my background was also in like food science and biotechnology, so I was able to transfer those skills. So yeah, that's where it is.
That's nice. So can you explain how does Green Pod Labs work? In detail so the consumer can understand?
Sure. We develop products similar to a small sachet, so the one what I'm holding. So these sachets, yeah.
You'll have to put a hand behind it so the product can be seen.
Okay, probably, yeah. So these are the small sachets what we've developed. It looks very similar to a silica gel packet. Whenever you buy like a leather bag or leather shoes, you find those small packets. It looks very similar to that, but with our proprietary formulation. So we have a patented technology which activates the defense mechanism. Similar to an immune system, a fruit and vegetable has its own defense mechanism. And then by activating that, we slow down the ripening rate and then minimize any microbial growth. So those are the two major reasons for spoiling. So any fruit or vegetable gets spoiled because of over ripening, or it gets spoiled because of microbial growth. So we control both at ambient temperature. So you don't need a cold storage or cold supply chain. So we're able to develop a solution which can work at ambient temperatures. And on average, we extend to 40 to 60% of shelf life on a fresh produce. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. So how can one purchase this?
It's not for a B2C product. It's more of a B2B product. So we work with farmers, we work with distributors, and we work with retailers. So we have channel partners on different things. So for farmers, we work with FPOs, a farmer producer organization. And for retailers and e-commerce, we directly reach out to them. or like they reach out to us. So we have our website, and people can inquire about the product on website. And all our social media, we have
Hmm.
presence, and then people can reach out. So it's more of a B2B product, and that's how we work with customers.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. So can you tell us how is your innovation different from any similar, in the market?
Sure. As mentioned, we have a patent on the product for
Hmm.
India, and
Hmm.
then we've applied for international patent as well. So the innovation, what we've brought about is like, so product working at ambient temperatures, and looking at the core root cause
Hmm.
for the problem is what we do. So our innovation is more in terms of like understanding each crop physiology, and then
Hmm.
developing solutions customized for that crop and seeing
Hmm.
what is needed for it.
Oh,
So our
nice.
solution for tomato is different from our solution for strawberries, or a
Hmm.
solution for figs. So we understand
Oh.
each crop's requirement, and that's how we develop it. So our methodology itself is unique, and we use all plant extracts and edible ingredients. We don't use any chemicals. That's
Oh.
one USP what we do.
Hmm.
We are extremely cost effective when you compare with any cold storage or cold supply chain. Yeah.
Okay. So how many variations of this do you have? For how many crops, I mean?
Currently, we have for three products which is completed for tomatoes, figs, and strawberries.
Okay.
And we are in development for mangoes and bananas.
Nice. Okay. That's nice. Okay. So can you share like an interesting, incident or, something that has happened that's, remained with you while you were developing your product?
I mean, there are several of those instances where every time we send the product for the customers, and how the customers are responding to the product and what feedback we're getting, every time is very interesting. There's one instant where we sent a product for trial on tomatoes, and we were expecting certain percentage, and that was the initial trials what we were doing with
Hmm.
that large customer. We were expecting certain percentage, and our performance of like went even beyond that. So I think those instances where you get the right response from the customers, I think that's what we work towards. And every time we develop a new product in house, it's an excitement phase. So we see something working, we think about something, and then getting it done.
Hmm.
It's always useful.
That's nice. Okay. Are there any challenges that you are facing right now, and have you come up with any solution?
So early stage startups, everything is a challenge, right? So you just work towards like how can you increase the order success.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we do work towards on. And I think a couple of challenges what we are currently facing is like we don't have a lot of financial support, in both in terms of
Hmm.
like doing our R&D, and also in terms of like working with customers and moving more as well.
True.
Both ends, that's been a challenge, and we've built a lot of low cost innovations to do
Hmm.
a lot of validation. So
Yes.
we've built that into a process so that we make sure we don't spend too much time, but also get the right amount of data.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where we.
What are the learnings that you have acquired on this journey?
Yeah, I think personally, I was as mentioned, I was working as a food scientist, or I
Yes.
was just focused on R&D, and that's about it.
Hmm.
So my evolution was not anything beyond that. When you're an entrepreneur, you need to handle multiple
True.
areas, and you need to keep on learning. I think I've always been curious to learn, but this is a amount of learning which I did not expect. But it's
Hmm.
just giving me a lot of perspective. So I think one key learning was like how can you manage the team? How can you work on multiple aspects of the business? Not
Hmm.
just the R&D, and not just the product development, customer,
Yes.
legal, finance, and fundraising, all sort of things. So managing everything together, and I think that's been a huge learning so far.
Yeah, I think that's a step where all entrepreneurs face. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, very cool.
Okay. Our final question is, do you have any
Sure.
message for the young entrepreneurs of India?
I'm not sure if I'm if I'm like the right person to give any advice, but my suggestion would be like pursue something what you truly like. Um, being an entrepreneur, there's a lot of challenges, but the
Yes,
upside is also higher. So make sure you're just not thinking about the upside, but enjoying the process.
true.
So I think that's what I would say, and learn as soon as possible. So build the right sort of team and learn as soon as possible, and focus on the problem. I think that's something a lot of entrepreneurs miss out. Like people get excited about a technology and then like dive deeper and not understanding what's the problem it's on. So
Hmm.
be passionate about the problem, have the learner's mindset, and like just go forward.
Okay.
That's what I
Is there any last message that you would like to convey?
Yeah. So I think, see, as a company, we are not just like developing solutions to minimize food waste, right? So we wanna talk about sustainability. We wanna
Hmm.
talk about the importance of like how you should be thinking about food and food waste and food loss.
Hmm.
So I think the message what I would say is like we have very limited resources. Let's make sure we like use it in a rightful way, and be thinking about sustainability today rather than thinking about that in next 20 years. So I think those are the things what I would say.
Thank you so much, Deepak, for joining us and talking about Greenpod Labs. It's been a blast. I hope you the best, and just do what you're doing. It's amazing. Thank you.
Thanks, Erika. Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity. Really
Thank
happy to be here. Thank you.
thank you. Bye.